Friday, September 23rd.
You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm.
Brutal heat continues over in the south central states, and we have something that's going to be quite amazing happening over the weekend. We're going to talk more about this hurricane, a powerful hurricane that's moving off the Atlantic Ocean. But another thing, which people may not be talking about yet, but they will, is another system, a minor system right now, but it's going to turn into a major hurricane, possibly hitting Florida by Wednesday morning. We're going to talk about that later in this podcast. But for right now, I just wanted to explain why it's likely to hit Florida and not Texas or New Orleans. Certainly not Texas. Probably not New Orleans as well. And the reason has to do with the major heat that's over in the south central states, along with the Bermuda High, all part of that ridge. It's going to be splitting this weekend. We're going to have a split. The jet stream then comes all the way down south, and that's going to push this hurricane. It's not a hurricane yet. We have hurricane number one, which is the major hurricane right now, but that's at 130 mile per hour sustained winds, about to reach its peak at any moment in terms of barometric pressure. It's been strengthening. It was weakening earlier today, but it's strengthening now. But the Tropical Depression 9, which we're going to talk about later in the podcast, that thing is having a very hard time intensifying right now because it's up against wind shear. But within about a day or so, it gets out of the wind shear. It's no longer in wind shear, and it goes into this very warm body of water where water temperatures are just about 90 degrees. As it collides in with that jet stream, it's going to take a northern track. It's not expected, therefore, to hit Texas or New Orleans, and expected to go to Florida, either the East Coast or the West Coast. Right now, it looks like the West Coast, but we will see. We now take you to the podcast. Friday, September 23rd. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. This is also on the podcast called Authentic Weather. We have 8 tropical disturbances or storms or hurricanes which are taking place across the world right now. The one which everyone has their eyes on, there's actually 2 of them. One that perhaps nobody's heard of yet, but we're going to talk about it very soon. But the other one is probably all over the news by now. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but Fiona, maybe, Fiona. This is a real powerhouse storm with sustained winds right now. As of 1 o'clock p.m. today, maximum wind speed 130 miles an hour with the barometric pressure down to 27.76. It is currently a Category 4 hurricane. This hurricane was a Category 4 earlier. It became a Category 3. It is now strengthening again, and it is expected to continue to strengthen over the next several hours. Some of the other named tropical storms, we have a system called Gaston, maximum sustained wind 65 miles an hour, barometric pressure 29.4. That system is around 40 degrees north latitude and 30 degrees west longitude. We have another tropical system called Noru, N-O-R-U, could be I'm not pronouncing it right. That's located just north of 25 degrees north latitude. We have several other systems as well. The one of greatest interest, actually, for the people living here in the United States is going to actually not be this Category 4 hurricane. It's going to be Tropical Depression 9. This tropical depression is expected to turn into a named tropical storm probably by tomorrow morning. The system is going to rapidly intensify from Sunday onwards as the storm moves into an area with very little wind shear and very warm water temperatures. As of 4 hours ago, it was a tropical depression. As of 10 a.m. this morning, this system is battling tremendous wind shear right now, so it's going to be very hard for it to intensify I think they're expecting it to intensify, but not by much over the next 24 or 48 hours. It's really on Sunday, the thing really starts to take off. And especially as it approaches 20 degrees north latitude. It's around 20 degrees north latitude. The system is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane. That will take place around Monday morning at 7 a.m. As of now, most likelihood, the system is going to move over hot water by the Florida Keys and intensify into a major Category 3 hurricane as it moves onto the west coast of Florida by Wednesday morning at a maximum sustained wind of 115 miles per hour. It's difficult to forecast the storm track for a hurricane, especially this far out. Meteorologists did send a drone into this hurricane. Actually, the drone is being sent into hurricanes now. The first drone ever sent into a hurricane was last year, and that's really something remarkable. They're going to be picking up a lot more information about hurricanes than just the airplane, than what an airplane was able to pick up. The current NOAA computer model has this hurricane as a major Category 3 hurricane passing through Cape Coral, Florida, just about there, Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. It's already going to reach places like the South Seas Island Resort a few hours earlier, or Sanibel, Florida. But if we take a look at the European computer model, the European computer model shows 3 a.m. Wednesday. This is 8 o'clock Zulu time, 3 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Wednesday. The system remains off the coast of Florida. And the wind speeds at that time on the coast of Florida are picking up, but they're not so bad. Maximum sustained winds remain in the 30s, except for extreme southwest Florida. But again, this is many, many days out. The barometric pressure of the hurricane, according to the European computer model for Wednesday, at this point it's already going to have a name to it. Right now it's just Tropical Depression 9, will be 28.4. It would be about around 11 o'clock Wednesday morning, where winds would become very close to hurricane force in Cape Coral, Florida. Current computer model, the European computer model, has it set up for 70 mile per hour sustained winds, 117 mile per hour wind gusts. We will now talk about the hurricane hitting Nova Scotia. It looks like it's probably in Nova Scotia, Canada. For 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, sustained winds of 77 miles per hour with wind gusts of 104 miles per hour is expected according to the European computer model. Heavy rains move in towards 6 in the morning. European computer model shows this hurricane reaching maximum intensity in regards to pressure at about 8 o'clock p.m. tonight, Central Daylight Time, 9 o'clock East Coast Time, at 27.28. It looks like Sable Island is going to get hit the hardest with Fiona, Fiona. European computer model shows the midnight sustained winds of 86 miles per hour tonight, but the 3 a.m. winds up to 115 miles an hour, sustained winds with gusts to 155 miles per hour. The GFS computer model shows the system reaching peak intensity over Sable Island 11 o'clock tonight, a sustained wind of 89 miles per hour with a gust of 115 miles per hour. Many, many hours of hurricane force strength stuff, according to both the GFS and the European computer model. For Sable Island, we have reports of water temperatures at a balmy 84 degrees off the southeast coast of New England. Water temperatures approaching 60 degrees as you head further north towards Canada. Another remarkable thing about this year is that there were no named storms at all in the Atlantic Ocean during the Atlantic Basin for the entire month of August. And that's the first time in 25 years where such a thing happened. There also was a tremendous hurricane drought in the Atlantic Ocean, probably pretty close to a year. Hurricane Danielle eventually formed. The sail drone device, this drone that was sent into the ocean, into the hurricane to measure the wave heights and other weather data, reported waves to 47 feet on Thursday. There's a current, an ocean current called the Labrador Current. It's an icy current. Many hurricanes quickly lose strength as they reach that area. But the water temperatures this year, says AccuWeather, have been up by 10 to 20 degrees in that area. The water remains chilly, at least in comparison to the tropics, but the water temperature is 60 degrees. Power outages are expected to reach peak intensity in the city Sydney for tonight into tomorrow. The current major Category 4 hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean, headed for the Nova Scotia area tonight and tomorrow, greatly increased to what's called the ACE. ACE stands for the Accumulated Cyclone Energy, which is the way meteorologists measure the overall intensity of a hurricane season. As of September 16th, according to the Colorado State University, the 2022 ACE was 31.1. Now, at the end of August, I believe that value was down at a 2 or a 3, but it went up to 31.1. Last year, this time, as of September 16th, it was, I don't know what it was last year, actually. The Fiona hurricane, again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Fiona, if not, then not, but it brought the ACE value up 25 through today, which brings that ACE value up to 57.9. That report comes from AccuWeather. The normal value as of this time of year would be 84.4. Thank you for listening. I wish everyone a wonderful weekend.